You're watching Flat 6 Media Car Reviews, where you come to watch the Flat 6 Media guys give you all the information you need on the cars you want.
We do car reviews, events, products, and give you our take on everything. So please click subscribe and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with our latest episodes.
Hey guys, it's Nelson with Flat 6 Media along with Henry, and we're here to talk about the long-awaited, maybe not too long-awaited, the update to the Tesla Model S. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't.
Remember, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by July 1st of 2021. It's a lofty goal for us right now, but we feel we can get it with your support. Depending on who you're talking to, some people might say that an electric car like this might be soulless, right? It's a robot at the end of the day. At first glance, it's not crazy different. It does look definitely a little bit more performance oriented. If you put them side by side, you'll see that you get a little bit more of the darker chrome on the handles, chrome delete on the side mirrors, and the front scoop, the splitter to the front of the car is actually a little bit bigger.
The truth about the design of this car is that 10 years ago when it came out, it was pretty far ahead of its time.
The Model S is probably one of the Tesla cars that you see the least versus the Model 3 and the Model Y. They have become more prominent, right? And with that said, its rarity, its sportiness, its practicality, still being a four-door sports sedan, if not the ultimate four-door. The design hits the right mark even now, as much now as it did back then.
All right, with that, let's see what they did with the interior.
First thing that hits you is the screen in the center of the console. And it looks stunning, honestly. I feel at 17 inches, it goes 17 inches across. It's proper placement, and when I look at this and I compare it to the Model 3 that brought it first, this one looks more sturdy. It feels like they wrap the dashboard and everything around this monitor as opposed to the floating view that you get from the Model 3.
Not only does it integrate a lot nicer with the dash, but it gives proper placement to all of the relevant buttons in the right place along the bottom of the dash. It just fits perfectly.
One of the things that I don't appreciate about the Model 3 is the positioning of the screen. That screen, it is landscape mode, everyone does like that, but it is rather flat.
From the Elon tweets, I've heard that the screen should be slightly maneuverable. I guess we'll see.
And then moving into what will be the secondary screen, and I appreciate this a lot, the driver still gets their main screen, right? Your speedometer, your tachometer, all that critical information is right in front of you. And actually looks a little bit bigger. I think keeping that there is a great move, and maybe taking that screen and bringing it down to the other models wouldn't be such a bad idea.
This setup works for me. When it comes to really messing around with the layout of things in the interior, I'm just really rigid on these things. Looking down from the newly positioned screen, you can see that you have what appear to be wireless charging pads. Most cars have like these awkwardly placed single wireless pads. They're only thinking about the driver or one person at a time. Not only does it lend to the thought and the consideration of Elon's design, but it adds to the size and the regalness of the center console. I'm always a big fan of a nice chunky center console. That's what gives you that appearance and that feel that you're in an expensive car.
What a lot of the other manufacturers do though is they actually, when you take your phone, you put them in the car, it connects wirelessly, first of all, right? And their effort is either it connects wirelessly or the pad is someplace that you can close and put the phone away, because more often than not, you can integrate with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. We all know that we're all fans. We like it. We need it. We got to have it. But an option for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is just the way the industry is going.
I think he's more on the fan of big screen and then two big phones under it. It just looks cool.
It does look solid. I'm going to give you that. I'm going right into form and practicality of it all. But yeah, I get it. What else is a big deal with the interior here?
Well, to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs. In this case, maybe a couple of yolks, and it's that yolk steering wheel. Is this for real, or is this just part of the rendering?
I was like, this dude just brought eggs, he put in the yolk, and I was like, oh, I see what he's doing. Wow, okay.
All right, so we got this yolk steering wheel. Everybody's wondering if this thing is going to make it to production, but it pulls your attention away from the other obvious things that are missing. You have no stalks, no right or left, you got no headlight buttons, and where's the shifter? Well, Elon apparently says that the car is going to be able to figure out what you want to do by what surroundings are around the car. Very F1, very forward thinking. I love it. But where's the shifter?
Let's be real. In a lot of the cars today, the shifter is disappearing. It's coming back down to the button, push button, automatic.
Do you think the yoke steering wheel is going to make it? That's the controversy here today.
Ultimately, I don't think it's going to make it. I hope some variation of it does. I do think that having all of the critical buttons and instruments on the steering wheel matter. Most cars are doing that these days anyway. I can see that possibly making its way, but I do feel we're going to have a full wheel.
Well, I guess this is going to be a big old we'll see. Let's take a look at the back, because normally you just see some back seats. We got some heated seats would be the highlight, maybe some extra charging ports and cup holders, but Tesla has upped the game in the back seat yet again. They've added a third screen in the back seat, which it's not a new thing, but it's actually a pretty cool thing. If I were to comment on the placement of it, I mean, we're all used to having screens right behind your seats, right in front of you.
However, what they could potentially do is that screen is down there in the center console. It holds there for most of the time. Maybe you can pull it out, bring it up to your level if you're one person in the back. I mean, there's nothing saying that it's not. So I guess we'll see. I assume the placement and the purpose of that screen is going to be more for your AC.
If it's a pop-out screen, it's going to be awesome.
Right. Right, absolutely. The big boys like Mercedes and BMW, especially in the 7 Series and the S Class, you take that tablet with you. I mean, there's nothing saying they can't do that.
It's really starting to win me over. Additional features, not only do you get a middle seat warmer in these cars, but if you look closely, you got 2 more charging pads there.
So you get 4 charging pads in the entire vehicle and just as many USB-C ports as well. Moving on to a few of the other features, what one can expect, you get a great 22 speaker, 960 watt audio system with noise canceling.
These are electric cars, there's no engine noise, so there's a lot of possible protruding sound. So the noise cancellation is a fantastic feature. Storage is the same. Fold the seats down, you can throw a big old bike back there. Good to go. So I know this is your favorite part of the show, so why don't you give it to me?
When it comes to speed, Teslas dominate off the line, period. Right? It's so torquey, it's all electric engines. The dual engine system has been great. You hit that gas and you hit that pedal and the car just goes, right? It's instant, it's incredible torque. So with the new 2021 Tesla, we are now talking 1,020 horsepower. It's less than a 10-second car on the quarter mile. We all remember what Toretto said in Fast and the Furious.
10-second car, not a 10-minute car.
Well, Tesla's bringing a 9.23-second vehicle, and it does 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds. The long range does it in 3.1 seconds. The other vehicles that you now need to start talking about when you get there is the Porsche Panamera Turbo S that comes in at $177,000. You're talking about the Mercedes-Benz AMG 63 that comes in at $161,000, and the Audi RS7 3 seconds at $115,000 to start. And then what is called Plaid. So Plaid, we should by now all know what that's referencing.
What the hell was that? They've gone to Plaid.
But ultimately what they've changed here is on the same platform, they've added an additional motor. So now you get a tri-motor all-wheel drive platform. The math gets better, the figure gets to get better. You can do 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds, and the only jab to this here is the fact that the range goes down from 412 down to 390 miles. For that move from long range to Plaid, you're getting 0 to 60 way faster, and that torque is going to hit you way harder than before.
And what do you get with the Plaid Plus?
So the difference between Plaid and Plaid Plus is that the 1.99 you're now getting further down into 1.98, 1.97. Peak horsepower is 1,100 and beyond. And then what is substantial is that range. It goes up from the 390 on Plaid to 540 on Plaid Plus.
My range anxiety is going way down. I mean, it just blows your mind that a 4-door sedan can do sub 2 seconds, but for me, it's gotta be the battery. That is absolutely insane.
It speaks to where this technology is going.
So, although you get the party trick of, you're gonna slam a Bugatti off the line, for me, it's that, wow, I can drive cross country and possibly back on a charge. The other big feature that, we're glazing over is the autonomous drive.
Tesla first came out and started offering it. I believe it started at about $1,800 on a price offering. Works its way up to $3,000. We got to $7,000, and now it's a $10,000 feature. By default, when you're building out your vehicle and you go through that process, always know that there's a $10,000 premium tacked to it. That is for the autopilot.
Riddle me this, did we get 360 cam? We have Sentry mode, but we don't have a 360 cam, so I am eager to see if they've improved on this.
What?
I assumed it was
No,
there.
it's not there. It's not there. That's why it's insane that they have the Sentry mode, but they don't have 360 cam. Which one would you get? And I know which one I would get.
Listen, I like fast cars and I like a lot of buttons and features, but ultimately, For the $75,000 price tag on the long range, I'm getting that 400 plus distance on the range, that amazing 3-second 0 to 60 time, and all the great features of the car. I don't need Plaid. I don't need Plaid Plus. So long range is what it is for me.
I always complain for fit and finish and stitching and smell of leather, but that is not the focus of these cars. And it has enough inside of it at the $75,000 range to get my attention. Now, what's the next range for the Plaid?
With Plaid, you're talking 120,000. It gets you the 1.99 seconds. That's the reduced range and the 200 mile per hour top speed. And then at the Plaid Plus, you start dipping into the 140K starting price. There you are paying for that extended battery,
Yep.
right? The extended mileage,
Right.
as well as the less than 1.99 on the 0 to 60.
Yeah, which is totally acceptable. I think the battery makes it worth it, but maybe if I was a Tesla owner already, it would impact my decision more, but I think I'm good at the long range price range for me. Overall, styling, cost.
The changes were subtle, but they were enough, I think, to make it worthy of more attention that it probably already gets. The subtle cues with the removing of the chrome, I am very anti-chrome these days. Also, the color options that they continue to offer, those haven't expanded enough in my opinion.
Totally agree.
But it's still good.
Totally agree.
Still good.
A couple of extra wheel options would work for me. All the extras, the technology, and the way they deliver that technology.
The over-air updates make everyone feel like they're always stepping into a new car every time. Now, the interior is a very solid thumbs up. I feel that they've considered a lot about the driver and the passengers. Those charging pads, the USB-C ports, the steering wheel is questionable. We all know this. The placement of that screen, fantastic, and that is what's going to sell this car. Elon, Tesla, good job on this car. Let's see if these features also translate into the new Model 3s, the Ys, the X, and one day the Cybertruck. But with that said, as usual, this is Henry.
And Nelson.
And we're out.
See you next time.
We're out.